The Champions League is back again, and in today's video I'm going to be giving you guys my predictions for the second leg in the Champions League playoff stage. In today's video I'm going to be predicting the scorelines for every single result and telling you guys who I think is going to move on to the knockout stages and who is going to get eliminated. If you guys agree with my predictions, remember to leave a comment down below. But if you disagree with my predictions and you think there may be a few upsets here and there, remember to leave your predictions in the comments down below and I'll be sure to reply to every single comment. So without further ado, let's get right into these predictions. Starting off with the first match on Tuesday, we have AC Milan against Feyenoord. In my prediction video for the first leg games, I did predict that AC Milan were going to beat Feyenoord in the first match. Now obviously Feyenoord did end up scoring in the 3rd minute, and it was a horrible mistake by Mike Maignan, the AC Milan goalkeeper. It was a horrible shot rolling on the ground, and Maignan let it slip between his hands. Honestly, it was a horrible mistake, and for the rest of the game, AC Milan could not get the goal that they needed. I talked about how Santiago Jimenez would be coming up against his former club only a few games into his new career at AC Milan, and in that game, he did not perform good at all. In my opinion, he was the worst player on the pitch, but in my opinion, with the home advantage playing at the San Siro, I think AC Milan will play much better than they did in that first leg, because we've seen in recent Champions Leagues how poor AC Milan have been away. They have not had a good away record, but when it comes to their home form, they do perform much better. But I don't think this is going to be a particularly easy game for AC Milan. I think Feyenoord will make it very difficult, but I still think that AC Milan do have that big home advantage, and for that reason, I'm going to predict AC Milan to win in full time 2-1, and in penalties, AC Milan will win and advance to the round of 16. Moving on to the next match, we have Atalanta against Club Brugge. I watched the first leg where Atalanta ended up losing 2-1, and in my opinion, that penalty in the last minute was one of the worst refereeing calls I've ever seen in the Champions League. It was a horrible call. The defender barely even touched the attacker. He barely even touched him with his hand, and they called it a penalty. In my opinion, that was a horrible decision, and that ref definitely deserves to be fired. It's something that we are seeing so often nowadays, and due to the fact that there was a tiny bit of contact, VAR could not overturn it. And in my opinion, that was a disgraceful penalty, one of the most disgraceful calls in football, and that was a very unlucky game for Atalanta. Obviously, I do have to give credit to Club Brugge, because for most of that game, they were the better team, and in my opinion, they did actually deserve the win for how good they played. But in this game, I think Atalanta will destroy Club Brugge. No disrespect to Club Brugge, I think they're an amazing team and they have done very well to make it this far. But Atalanta, playing at home, in my opinion, are one of the top 10 teams in Europe. They're a very strong team, and I think they will very comfortably win this game 3-0. Moving on to the next match, we have Bayern Munich against Celtic. In the first leg, when Celtic scored that goal in the first minute, I thought Bayern Munich were cooked. I did not think they would be able to come back. Now, obviously, that goal did end up being ruled out for offside, and Bayern Munich did end up winning the game 2-1. But in my opinion, Celtic did still play very well, and it was a very close game. Obviously, in this game, I think anything can happen, and Celtic have proven in past Champions League games that they are capable of pulling off upsets. But with Bayern Munich at home, I just don't think Celtic will be able to do it. I think Bayern Munich will be very comfortable in their home ground. Obviously, their attackers like Olise, Kane both scored in the first leg, and I do think they will score again. And in my opinion, I just think their team is a little bit too powerful for Celtic. I am wishing Celtic good luck, because I think it would be a crazy result if they end up upsetting Bayern Munich. But in my opinion, I'm going to go for a Bayern Munich win 3-0. Moving on to the last match on Tuesday, we have Benfica against Monaco. In the first match day, I did predict that game would end in a draw. Now, obviously, we saw what happened. Benfica were clearly the better team. Monaco ended up getting a red card. They were playing with a man down for a good portion of the game, and Benfica obviously did come away with the 1-0 victory. Now, I think that Monaco have been very good so far in this Champions League, but in the last match day, they did not play up to their standards, and Benfica took advantage of that with a goal from Pavlidis. And in this game now, they have the home advantage. I think Pavlidis will go crazy. He's been absolutely incredible for them this season. He has been scoring loads of goals in the Liga Portugal, in the Champions League. He has been their main scorer and one of the main reasons why Benfica are still in this competition. And for that reason, with the home advantage, I don't think that Monaco will be able to do anything in this game. I'm going to predict a 2-0 win for Benfica. Moving on to the next match, we have Borussia Dortmund against Sporting. In recent weeks, we have seen Borussia Dortmund really struggling in the Bundesliga, where they're struggling to find their form. Obviously, they've had a few problems with finding the right manager, and in general, their team hasn't looked good over the past month. But in the Champions League, they still have been very, very good. And obviously in the first leg, they did beat Sporting 3-0 away from home. Serhou Guirassy has been absolutely incredible for Borussia Dortmund in this Champions League. And in my opinion, he's been one of the main reasons why they're still in this competition, having scored already 10 goals and 13 goal contributions in total. And he does have the most goals and goal contributions out of any other player in this Champions League. Obviously, Sporting have been struggling a little bit in the last couple months, and in this game, they are playing away. They couldn't do it at home, so in my opinion, I don't think they will be able to do it away. I think they'll definitely be able to score a goal because they need that. They need to press, they need to attack, and they need to try and score. But in my opinion, I do think Borussia Dortmund will win this game 2-1, and they will advance into the round of 16. Moving on to the next match, we have PSG against Brest. We saw it in the first leg how good PSG played away from home. They were absolutely incredible, and now they are up 3-0 on aggregate. And with this game having the home advantage, I think it will be pretty easy for PSG. With Brest having never beaten PSG in the last 21 matchups, and obviously with how good Ousmane Dembele is playing so far in 2025, he has the most goal contributions out of any other player in Europe. He has been absolutely incredible and one of the main reasons why PSG has been so good in the past couple months. I don't think that Brest stand a chance against PSG. I'm wishing them good luck, but in my opinion, I'm going to go for a 4-1 PSG win. Moving on to the next match, we have PSV Eindhoven against Juventus. In the first match, it was a very, very close matchup. Obviously, Juventus did have the home advantage and they did end up winning 2-1. But PSV were pretty good and they probably could have ended up drawing that game. I've already talked about how poor Juventus have been offensively this season, and with their new signing Randal Colomwani and other youngsters like Kenan Yildiz, I thought that they would play incredibly in the first leg. But to be fair, both of them were very, very underwhelming, and Juve's 2 goals came from Weston McKennie and a substitute attacker. I think PSV definitely have the advantage in this game. They are playing at home. Juve haven't been able to score a lot of goals so far this season, and I think PSV could definitely upset Juventus. But in my opinion, I think Juventus will just hold on. We obviously know how good Thiago Motta is with his defensive tactics, so for that reason, I'm going to predict a 1-1 draw and Juve advance to the round of 16. And finally, the last match and arguably the most anticipated match is Real Madrid against Manchester City. Obviously, we all watched the first leg. If you didn't watch the match last week, that was an incredible match, amazing scenes. Man City were leading twice in that game, and obviously in typical Real Madrid fashion, they did end up scoring that 92nd minute winner to put them ahead 3-2 on aggregate. Obviously, there were moments in that game where Man City did look like the better team, but in my opinion, Real Madrid were always going to win because they have that experience in the Champions League, whereas Manchester City simply don't. And obviously, Real Madrid are struggling defensively as most of their center backs are currently injured. And that was a main reason why Manchester City were very good on the attack. I do think that Man City will be very good on attack again. I think they will be able to score. But in my opinion, I think Real Madrid will do enough to go through. I think this game will end in a 2-2 draw, but obviously on aggregate, Real Madrid will advance to the round of 16. And that is the end of this video. Those were my predictions for the second leg in the Champions League playoff round. The 8 teams that I think will be going through into the round of 16 is AC Milan, Atalanta, Bayern Munich, Benfica, Borussia Dortmund, PSG, Juventus, and Real Madrid. If you guys agree with my predictions, remember to leave a comment down below. But obviously, if you disagree with my predictions and you think there may be a few upsets here and there that I didn't think would happen, remember to leave your predictions in the comments down below, and I'll be sure to reply to every single comment. And obviously, if you did enjoy this video, remember to leave a like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and stay tuned for more videos.